Howdy, howdy. Good
What's going
evening.
on? How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. It's glad to be back with you guys. So
It's
it's
been a
it's
while.
it's been a minute. I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I'm alive. So I'm just glad to join you guys again. To kind of hang out and talk tournaments because it's coming up to the start of the season. So kicking off a new year. And we are excited to get that started. Answer any questions that you guys have. I know there's quite a few new names that are going to be joining the club this year. So hopefully you guys are here, going to get a chance to get out on the water this weekend and compete, but also join us for the upcoming season. So just I see Scott Gibbons is on here. How you doing, sir? Mr. Harrelson, we got you. I see Edgar Bonilla. He's on here. That's a new name. And then we got Robert Phillips. What's going on, sir? But yeah, we'll give a couple seconds for folks to hop on, drop a comment in the comment section below. Uh, Scott Gibbons, you lost the stash again. Yeah. Yep. Fishing bet. Lost a fishing bet. Unfortunately, Sean's not on here. Thank God, because he'd be giving me a hard time about it. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. But no, I'm just excited to be back. Todd, thank you and Jeff and Dave and Sean and Chris Clutter for holding down the fort the past couple months since I've been away. Been doing a lot of the stuff on the back end with Tourney X and Facebook and stuff, but I really do appreciate you guys stepping up and being able to cover down on the lives. So it's getting colder here. It's transitioning. The leaves are turning, so it's getting colder. So I'm not going to be going outside as much. But yeah, you'll be seeing a lot more of me on these lives. But yeah, we got 7 folks on here. Again, this is the captain's meeting for the event on Headwaters and StickMarsh. So if you are fishing and competing this weekend, watch the entirety of this video because we're going to cover a lot of the important things that you need. So if you violate any of those rules, just know what those consequences are. So just also drop your name in the comment section below so that you can receive some credit for this. If you are fishing and your name is not in the comment section, we do review this. We take note of it. You'll get disqualified. So again, this is an open. It's not, you do not have to be a member to fish this event. This is going to be our last open of the off season because next month kicks off our regular season. So again, this is your last opportunity to jump on board and see what it's all about to fish with us on the Fkbt trail. So we're excited about it, but what we're going to do to kind of expedite this process for the captain's meeting side of it, we're going to go ahead and get started. We got 15 anglers that are signed up at this moment. Registration ends Friday night at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. That's when registration will close. So make sure if you are planning on fishing to sign up before that deadline. We're going to go over some of the safety measures, some of the rules, lines in, lines out, and award meetup, what that's going to look like. We'll go over boundaries. It's pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy there. And then first and foremost, we'll answer any questions that you guys have if this is your first event. So without further ado, I'll kind of go through some of the just basics when it comes down to the tournament. So lines in is going to be 7 o'clock. Lines out is going to be 3 p.m. Headwaters and StickMarsh, they have a rule where you cannot, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the being able to enter in the parking lot is an hour before sunrise, is, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? Did y'all cover that last week?
Yeah.
There's a sign out there, so no one will be able to enter the parking lot until an hour before official sunrise and launch too. So just make sure that as you guys launch, park your vehicle, you guys can stage out in that open bay area there. So we'll pull up. I don't know if Todd has it pulled up to where he can share his screen, but he'll pull it up here shortly. So lines in 7, lines out is going to be 3. Last photo submission is going to be 3:30, and our award ceremony location is going to be the pavilion in the StickMarsh boat ramp. It's where we've always had it. So once you guys get off the water, get loaded up, you'll just head down. If you're fishing in Headwaters, you'll head down about a half a mile to that StickMarsh boat ramp. and that's where we're going to do the award ceremony. Again, the big thing with fishing headwaters around this time of the year um, is duck hunting season. There was something posted. And did y'all talk about it last week, Todd? So I won't
We
spend too
did.
much time on it. Yeah, so duck hunting is a thing. This is not as of right now. There's only 15 anglers fishing it. I would highly suggest that if you're out of a kayak and whatnot, to launch from the kayak ramp on the StickMarsh side, from the levee there, and launch from there. But you're also more than welcome to launch where the boats are. But based off last year's experience, those duck hunters get there fairly early, and to be quite frankly with you, honest with you, they actually camp out there overnight. The reason I know that is because we camped out at the StickMarsh boat ramp area, and we got there at like 7 o'clock the night before, and duck hunters were out there having bonfires on the side of the road, camping out. So just giving you guys a heads up there. That's just the nature of it. Fishing that body of water at this time of the year, it's good fishing, but also we will have to contend with those duck hunters. Yes, definitely make sure you guys have your your orange high visibility flag flying. I always recommend wearing high vis, like shirt, long sleeve shirt or jacket, just so that you're seen. In low vis areas, make sure you guys have your 360-degree white light. You guys cannot launch in low light or darkness if you don't have that 360 white light. It's required from the time lines in to lines out that you have the high visibility flag flying, the white light during times of darkness and low light visibility. And if you're operating a motor, make sure you have your navigational lights on. If you have a motor on, those lights have to be on, and the 360 light have to be on when underway during those low light times. If you're any questions on that, on kayak regulations and what that looks like, you can reach out to us and we'll be sure to get you squared away. Does the light have to blink? No, the light does not have to blink. It just needs to be visible. And make sure that, just rule of thumb, carry some extra batteries if you have the Yak Attack light, to make sure that in the event that it doesn't work, or the battery dies, you forget to loosen it to where you turn it off. Always have extra batteries with you to so you don't run into any problems on being able to launch during those at 6:30 in the morning. I'm not down there, so I don't know what time the sun's coming up. But at 6:30, I'd imagine it's still low light out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Todd, I'll turn it over to you if you want to talk some of the safety stuff, and then I'll monitor the comment section.
Yeah, absolutely. We've already discussed some of it with the lights. So, if you're running a motor, also make sure you have navigation lights on there, the red and the green, as well as your 360 white light, and a flag. When you're running your flag, make sure your flag is up above you, that when you're sitting, that your flag actually flies above you. It does no good to actually have a flag if it's only, a foot or a foot and a half, off your kayak. Nobody can really see it. So definitely try to have one that is, have it flying above your head. All right. And especially, like we talked about this weekend, if you can wear high vis clothes, that's great. That will help out. For other main safety thing that we have is you must wear your PFD at all time, your life jacket. So when the only time you can take it off is if you're changing clothes or, putting on rain gear, taking off rain gear, right? So you got to put it on immediately after you take, your jacket off or, whatever. So if you're caught without it, it's an automatic DQ. I will give a shout out to one of the guys that was fishing the Bass Nation State Championship, Ross Pinkerton. He forgot to put his PFD on, and he actually, let the tournament directors know he DQ'd himself, which that's a stand-up guy right there, especially in the championship, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we need on safety? Just be on the lookout for, watch for any of those alligators out there. There's some pretty good sized ones out that way. Just keep your head on a swivel, watch all throughout the canals or around the turns. Don't be fishing right on those edges. Or if you do, just be very, very careful. Scott Gibbons said, be careful when running your motor. The water is still low. So, yeah, definitely be low. Speaking of motors, this year we are allowing 2 motors. When running your stern mount, your bow mount has to be in the stowed position up. But if you are running your bow mount motor, your stern motor can be in the water. It just cannot be running. You can only run 1 motor at a time. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
If you are running a motor, make sure you are legal. Make sure you have your boat's registered. Also, this one is a shout out for you, Clutter. I saw you on here a second ago. Make sure you have a whistle, an audible device. Clutter can tell you he got a ticket for it, so make sure you have that on there.
FWC will be out there during hunts during duck hunting season, so they are patrolling the levee heavily. They go up and down that often, making sure that those duck hunters are in compliance. So
yeah,
just make sure you guys are as well.
Also, just be mindful of the weather, because weather can move in pretty quickly out there. I think looking at the weather, I think we were calling for like a 20-mile-an-hour gust. So just especially if you're on StickMarsh out there in the open, it can get pretty rough out there for sure. So be very careful. If it does come up lightning or big storm, try to get yourself to safety. Push up on one of the little islands or something out there just to be safe if you can.
Yeah, I got something for safety as well. And I don't know if you might have not been paying attention, but the Headwaters boat ramp, the main canal going out to Headwaters, as you guys are navigating your way down that canal, make sure you do so in like a single file line. Don't block up that entire canal for those boats that are exiting to go out to do their duck hunting. A lot of those guys are going to be gone, hopefully well before we launch at 6:30. Sun up, I think from what I see on here is 7:10. So 6:10 is when you guys would be able to enter into the parking lot to start your launching process. You guys still cannot exit going down. Just wait until, if you can, as boats are going down, you hear them coming up, just kind of go to the side, stop, and turn the front of your bow into the wake as they're coming down. Just take your time getting down there. You got all the time in the world. That's why we extended it from 7 to 3 versus keeping it shortened. One, to give you guys a little bit more time on the water to kind of see what a real tournament would look like. But 2, also knowing that, just take your time going down that canal. Don't rush. They're there to duck hunt, but there's also, there's still going to be boats out there that are fishing. So just be mindful of that. We want to minimize as much, injury as possible, right? Gators and boats out there are 2 of the big concerns that we have. So just keep your head on a swivel, please.
Yeah.
A lot of those boats don't follow the speed limit that's there posted on the sign. So
if I'm not mistaken, I think they said actually the speed limit throughout the whole lake is 25 miles an hour.
25 miles an hour.
So
correct.
We know that they don't do that.
We have is it Daniel? Daniel, correct, from Beyond Headwaters? Dave. He said, be mindful of hunters. Yeah, they will be on the north end, likely off by 9 or 10. It's opening day. Yep. So, but they'll be off by 9 or 10, and they'll be they're all going to be launching, hopefully, by 6:30. The majority of all of those duck hunting boats are going to already be kind of out preparing for daybreak before they can start, actively hunting. And they should not be an issue for us once we return.
Here's another thing too, is if you are launching at the boat ramp, get all of your gear and everything ready before you get to the ramp. That way we make it fast and quick.
Yep.
Also, whenever you come off the water, don't be sitting there, loading your car up with all your gear at the boat ramp. So, we want to be mindful. We don't want to block up that ramp because other people have to use it as well. We want to
if you're hand launch, definitely do not block the boat ramp. There's lines that you got plenty of time. If you're trailing your kayak and dumping it in like off the trailer, prep it. If you are car topping and you are going to be hand launching your kayak at the main boat ramp, there are parking areas that you can park at and then back in, offload your kayak onto the grass, load it there, and then dump it from the bank there. Do not go and park your vehicle, get your kayak off the top of your vehicle at the ramp and at the actual boat launch ramp and prep it there. That's not the right place to do it. And if you see that, kindly help and inform an angler that might not be used to that and let them know, hey, don't block the ramp. If you see someone that needs help at the ramp, loading their kayak on or unloading, be a good angler and go over there and try to help them to make the process as quick as possible, and safety as well. Just make sure we're helping one another out.
Yeah.
So, and once you launch it, you park your car, you go back out. You guys I would position yourself kind of up against that south wall of the bay area, away from the boat ramp. So boats, as they launch, are not going to be running it. Don't leave your kayak attached to the boat dock or anywhere around there where a boat can back into you or be in harm's way. I know there was an incident at the last open, and just to prevent that. Again, be mindful of your surroundings. And I know there wasn't anything done wrong on our angler's behalf, right? It was just a boater trying to get out on the water as quick as possible, and what happened, right? So just be mindful. Once you guys get out there, just kind of stage yourself away from the active boat ramp. But yeah, I'm going to go through real quick as well. Boundaries for the event. Todd, are you able to bring up the map? If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online and see if it's on there. I'm going to pull it up. I just can't share it on my tablet.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. Let me find it. I had it up just a minute ago.
Yep, it's pretty straightforward. All of StickMarsh is in play, right? When you launch there, you can't launch over the levee. You can't leave the confines of StickMarsh or Headwaters. If you plan on fishing Headwaters and you don't catch anything or something, and you want to go over to StickMarsh, you have to exit the water from where you entered it at, load up, and then go and launch from the either kayak launch at StickMarsh or the boat ramp at StickMarsh. You can't cross over the levee in the middle of the lake to get into StickMarsh. That is not allowed. You have to go back to where you entered and then exit or enter the next body of water from an approved launch. Okay. So yeah, StickMarsh is here. The boat ramp, Sean, if you can zoom in on the boat ramp.
At StickMarsh or
no, at Headwaters. Okay. So where I was talking about for you guys to kind of stage yourself is right where Todd's cursor is as you launch. Go back, Todd. Come a little bit further south along that wall. That's where you guys can stage up and go. Once 6:30 hits, you guys can start making your way down the canal. How I would make your way down the canal is just hug that left wall there and go down in a single file. Make sure you have your 360 lights and what have you, but go down there to just kind of stay out of the way of the boaters. Okay, if you zoom out there, that's the body of water that you guys are able to fish. You guys cannot fish that upper canal that's right there by Fellsmere Grade Road. That body of water is not in play. Where Todd's cursor is, that whole area there in the north quadrant of that lake of Headwaters is where all of the duck hunters are going to be staged up at, in that whole quadrant there in that corner. So if you zoom out a little bit more, you can see it. Yep. So that whole corner stretching all the way down to the far west corner, that butts up right next to the StickMarsh boat ramp in the top left corner there, Todd. If you zoom in, Can you zoom in on the kayak launch as well now?
Yeah.
Yep. So right here, where Todd is zooming in, if you guys haven't fished there before, once it clears up. So right there where his cursor is, there is a on that levee is where you will enter, and you guys can walk down that levee and then launch your kayak into Headwaters right there. That is the official kayak launch for Headwaters Lake. You might have to walk down a couple hundred meters depending on if there is if it's blocked by any sort of vegetation. You guys are cleared to walk down as far as you can to clear that vegetation, and then launch your kayak from there. What I would suggest is before you wheel your kayak down there is to walk down there first to see where the opening is so that you know where to enter from. Once you enter and get out of the way, you push your kayak into the water. The staging area for the kayak boat launch is just in the open water area, about 50 to 75 yards off of the levee there. You're fine. Just get out of the way and let other folks launch if it's packed for whatever reason. The award ceremony location is going to be, if you can hover it over, the award ceremony is going to be in the pavilion right there. There's plenty of parking in the asphalt area, but the other parking, if we get 30, 40 people to show up, in that grass parking area there is going to be additional parking for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you want to zoom out there, any questions on boundaries so far? Pretty much everything in StickMarsh and Headwaters is in play. This is your boat launch for StickMarsh. If you zoom out, Todd, all of that water is in play, including the backwater up just north, down that whole area there. Keep scrolling. That whole area is in play. You can go as far south as the levee that's down there. On the far south end of StickMarsh, just be mindful of weather and wind and the rough seas as the day progresses. But yeah, all that is in play. You cannot cross any of the roads or the levees there. You have to stay within those levees and bounds to be in bounds. If you are out of bounds, submitting a fish, I will notify you directly and as quickly as possible. But yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Same boundaries as we've had every event that we fish there. But for the new folks, if you have questions, just let me know and we can clarify anything that you may need. But yeah, that's boundaries. And I'll post a map if I hadn't done so already. It should be on the Fellsmere StickMarsh Tourney X page, but if not, I will post it so you guys have it. Are there any questions? I'm looking through the thing now. I don't see any. I'm going to go through the payout breakdown for this event. It's listed on Tourney X for those of you that want to know what it looks like and what to expect. So the entry fee for this open was $40. The Tourney X fee was $6.50 per angler. The strike fee that's associated with this per angler was $1.16. And allowing us to do a championship / AOY contribution of $2.34 per angler. Big bass for this open is $5 per angler. So $5, however many people we have, times that by 5. Payout is going to be 10%. So out of that $40, $25 is going towards the event payout. So as we get a total of registrants, I will post on our Facebook page the expected big bass and payout to the top 10%. Right now we're sitting at 14 anglers, so it's going to be first place payout and big bass. Again, tournament details: launch time 6:30, lines in 7, lines out is 3, photo submission deadline is 3:30, pre-fishing ends Friday, September 19th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, yes, definitely thank you, Scott Gibbons. Make sure before you launch or you get to the boat ramp, you go on the Tourney X app and you click check in. And then when you get off the water and you're back at the boat ramp, make sure you use the app to check out. The app will not let you submit a fish until you check in. So just make sure to get in the habit of doing that, because that's something that we're tracking as the season kicks off for safety purposes. That notifies me when everybody is on the water and when everyone is off the water, to make sure that we have no one left behind, and allows me to notify anglers and reach out to them to make sure that they're okay in the event that they they're stuck on the water somewhere. Fkbt printable ID cards, again, for these opens. Just make sure there's really no official ID card for the opens. You can write it on a white sheet of paper, as long as the code is clearly visible and not blocked or obscured by any fish. As long as I can clearly read it and make out that the code is correct, the fish are going to get approved. If you put it on your hand, right, make sure that it is on a marker that I can actually see, and it doesn't it's not blocking anything, because sometimes I've seen it where the shirt is blocking the hand and I can't read the code. So just make sure the code is clearly visible. For our regular season events, we do it is mandatory that you use an FKBT identifier, official identifier, but for the opens, we're not making it a mandatory item. Award ceremony will start at 4 p.m. sharp. We're not going to have big fancy checks. Again, this is just an open. We'll have a few items to hand out. But again, it's a little different. This year's award ceremonies are going to look a little bit different in regards to the amount of prizes that were given out. Based off feedback in the off season and polls that we put out, anglers wanted to see more money put towards the overall payouts and what have you. So that's where our focus is. Product that you're going to be getting at the award ceremony is strictly product that was donated from our sponsors, and a few other small here and there items that we'll purchase to give away, just because that's what we like to do. We're not doing away with it entirely, but we're definitely going to cut back on some of the regular season event giveaways and focus it more on the championship giveaways and the overall payouts to those events. But yeah, other than that, are there any questions that I missed?
The official bump boards are getting feedback here. Your catch boards and your Yak Attack leaderboards.
Yep.
I will be using the Bubba board again to test it. We're just trying to make sure that we do our due diligence with it to make sure we don't have any issues before we approve it.
Yes. Yep. So catch and Yak Attack leaderboards. Thank you for bringing that up.
With those, you got to make sure that you have a contrasting mark or sticker on the end of the catch boards. The leaderboard actually has a mirror there that we can tell with it, so that's fine. But yeah, make sure you've got a sticker, some kind of contrasting mark on the bump board.
Yeah, I got some photos here. I'm going to pop up here. So just make sure, being out on Headwaters and StickMarsh, there might be some issues with service. So make sure that when you submit a photo, if I receive this photo, I will deny it. I can't clearly see what that fish's total length is. So make sure if you're doing it in low resolution, you're submitting a photo that is legible, that I can actually see. This right here is a great picture of what a photo submission should look like. It's directly the overhead photo. I can see the identifier clear as day, and I can make certain that that fish's lip is touching the bump and the tail is touching 21 inches there. That is a phenomenal photo. So for those of you that haven't competed, this is what right looks like. We do allow the pinching of the tail. If you are not familiar with what that looks like, there is a diagram on our official rules. So that brings me to this. If this is your first event, all anglers must have a signed liability waiver on file for the new 25-26 season. So this is your first event. You can locate that liability waiver on our the Florida Kayak Bass Trail official Facebook page, or you can reach out to me directly. I can email you the rules. So our liability waiver and everything is attached as attachments to our rules. So that is on our Florida Kayak Bass Trail official Facebook page. Underneath the featured tab, you will see our rules there. I will make another post. I'll pin it to the top of our page. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach me on Facebook. You can send me a private message. You can send me a text message. My phone number is listed there as well. Or you can shoot an email to Florida Kayak Bass Trail at yahoo.com, and I will get back to you. but all anglers competing in our events must have a signed liability waiver and have read and signed the rules. So this year we have done a thing where you have to sign that you read and understand the rules and have a liability waiver on file. Okay. So if you have not done that yet, please get in contact with me and I'll get you squared away. What I'll do is I'm going through and compiling a list of all the names of the folks that have submitted liability waivers. And I will post that on our members only page so folks know. I've been responding to emails, but just to cover to CYA, I'll make a list out there to verify so that you guys can see that what we do have matches what we have on file. And if there's any issues, you can reach out to me. But other than that, as far as the mandatory, the captain's meeting goes, that pretty much concludes the captain's meeting portion of the event. So we'd love to have you guys stay on. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the upcoming season to cover some things down there. But again, best of luck this Saturday for all the anglers that are out there competing. Again, right now we're sitting at 14 anglers. So hopefully we can get a little bit more folks up there signed up to go out there and compete. If not, hey, these are opens. It's intended for folks, to come out and have fun. But I also know that it's, next month starts our season. So some folks are probably just kind of wanting to take a break for a minute and get a breather before the season kicks off. So,
well, all of our events are geared to have fun.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's in season or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just another refresher on this. This is going to be your best 3 instead of our normal 5. This is your best 3. So hopefully everybody will get a limit and then some.
Yep. All of our opens are going to stay with best 3. Our regular season events will be best 5. Just leaving it at that. It's going to be pretty fun. So it should be we should see around hopefully 60 to 68 to 70 inches for your best 3. Hopefully someone goes out there and catches a 10-pounder. But ultimately go out there, have fun. But we're that at the end of the day, if you're new into kayak bass fishing, and we really do appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us in our club. We have a great group, or we have a phenomenal group of anglers that really, make this club very special. So hopefully you guys can come out, enjoy yourself, get a taste of what it's like to fish on a competitive trail. And get to learn a lot, because we got a lot of really good anglers that are some of the best in Florida. So you definitely get a chance to pick some of their ears and kind of see what it's like, to fish competitively.
Yeah, and the great thing is too, I can say from a newbie a few years ago, is the guys on the trail are happy to share with you how to, techniques and how to catch fish if you're new to even fishing in Florida, period. Because Florida is a different beast than it is elsewhere. So
it is.
I've learned a lot from everybody in the club.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm super grateful to have met everyone that I've met from this club. I've met a lot of lifelong friends just from fishing in the kayak community in Florida. So I'm super grateful for that. And I'm sure, if you move away, there's always another kayak club in another state that that you can take what you've learned here and move it into wherever you go, and just continue to build your relationships in our community, which makes it such a great sport to be a part of. So definitely miss you guys down there. Wish I could come and hang out with you guys, but unfortunately it's like a 27-hour drive. And with work and everything up here, I've been super busy lately, but definitely am enjoying getting to be still a part of the club and doing a lot of stuff on the back end. Again, as we kick off the 25-26 season, right, just know this season's going to look a little bit different because we listen to your feedback. So all of the new tournament management system that we're using is Tourney X. We spent the last 3+ years using Fishing Chaos. We put polls out during the off season, and we took a lot of your guys' input into how we are going to be doing things this season, right? The one thing I want to preface for this, and hopefully folks can see this, because I know we don't got very many people watching now, and I plan on talking a little bit more about it in the coming weeks, is we want this to be a club that everyone kind of, calls their home, right? We're a grassroots club. We're not tied to any sort of national trail. However, we do link up with some of these trails throughout the season and co-host events to, to kind of make it make it easier on anglers who are fishing 3-4 different trails. So if we can, co-host events and like we're doing with the native big bass on Lake Kissimmee, that just kind of, it's the best of all worlds for all trails involved, right? So, listening to your guys' advice has been a great learning experience for us and kind of how and where we're going with the trail. Just know moving forward, we're going to try not to make drastic or major changes moving forward. We want to try to keep the trail going in a way to where it's not these drastic changes every year to where, folks are having to they don't know what to expect, essentially, right? We don't want to continue this up and down cycle of having to make these changes. If something comes up, obviously, when it comes to safety and things of that nature, we're going to make adjustments and changes. But listening to you guys going to Tourney X, just know that there's a huge learning curve for myself on the back end. As whereas Fishing Chaos, there were some things that, I was accustomed to. Now on the Tourney X side, if something goes wrong in the tournament side that you're having issues with on Tourney X, just know that it's probably not Tourney X, it's me. I'm learning. So there might be some things that I mess up on, and I'm having to work through those with Dwayne, and he's been phenomenal in expediting my troubleshooting. So if you guys have used Tourney X before and have any sort of, insight, I've had a lot of folks reach out to me and help me along the way, and I truly appreciate that. But just know from a tournament director standpoint, I might mess up. So just show me some grace, and show Todd and the rest of the crew some grace in regards to that. Be patient with us because this is a new tournament management system, and these opens are a great way for me to learn how to use the system, to use the platform. So I appreciate you guys coming out and providing that feedback. But yeah, again, just show some grace there, which I know you guys will. When it comes, the other thing I wanted to hit on real quick is we made some adjustments to entry fees for this upcoming season. So in our rules, the rules that were posted and a lot of the rules that you guys have already read and signed and submitted to me, there's going to be a change that's happening to the payout section. If you guys notice there, the money is a little bit different than what we're actually going to be charging entry fees for the upcoming season. So entry fees, and I'll make a big post about it again and pin it to the Facebook page, which I've already have. But I will be publishing a revised version of our rules that highlights what the payouts are going to be, the fees, and all of that breakdown, and what you can expect from each event based off total number of anglers and whatnot. So I'm still working that piece. I'll publish it, and then I'll pin it right back up to our Facebook page. And it will also, the rule guidance is always attached in Tourney X to each tournament. There's a rules tab there that you can go directly to, and it'll pop up the latest version of those rules. So there's no excuse for you guys not to have it. It'll be on our Facebook page. I'll send it out via, an attachment in an email once the season kicks off for folks to keep it on their laptop or on their phones. But it's also embedded within each tournament on Tourney X. So if you ever have a question or in doubt, please use that rules. But with it being $70 a tournament, $6.50 of each out of that $70, you can already, just for full transparency, out of the $70 entry fee, you could take $10 off the top of that. That's going to go straight to fees. So that is a Tourney X fee of $6.50, a stripe fee, which is 2.9% of the $70, and then you have Big Bass, which is $10. So it's going to leave roughly around $50-ish per angler that's going to be going towards event payouts. So just because you guys see that $70 and try to equate it to being, it's going to be higher payouts, just know that there's fees, the Tourney X fees, and all those fees. That's $10 right off the top. We're just making it an even 10. And then Big Bass is 10. So out of that 70, $20 is going to fees and Big Bass. And then there's maybe like $1.76 or $2.34 that is like kind of, out there. That money is going to be put into our the club savings account and be used towards the championship. And our our fees for StreamYard and our QuickBooks that does all of our accounting for the club. So just giving you guys there for some full transparency. Each event I'm going to be posting to our Facebook page financial recaps of total number of anglers, all the fee, how much fees were involved, payouts, what have you, so that you guys can see what that looks like and know where your money is going and what's being contributed back into those payouts. So no one should have a question. And if you do have a question, want to know, hey, where's this money going? Just know you can reach out to me at any time, and I will. I'm an open book. I'll provide you with any information you want. The one thing I'll say, if you hear rumors going around about money, come directly to me. Come to Todd, whoever. I'll give you the password to our bank account. Let you look at the transactions. I'll print the transactions out and send them to you. It don't bother me one bit. None of my guys, including myself, get paid for anything that we do. All the money that is left over or what gets transferred goes directly back into the championship, and some money is left aside for the end of the year to help kickstart the new year. When it comes to running this trail, there is, transactions that have to take place in order to actually do this. No sponsors have given us any sort of money. We haven't asked any sponsors to give us money. It's all product and discount codes and stuff. Maybe in the future we create something that gives requests to businesses to donate financially, but that's not what we're at. That's not what our club is about. That's kind of where we're at with that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I just wanted to give you guys I haven't been on and hadn't had a chance to talk about that a little bit, so I just wanted to do so ahead of time. Again, some questions I did see in regards to the first event of the season being the Central Florida County Challenge. There is a PDF that Jeff Gallagher created. We went over it a few months ago on what lakes are eligible. I went and posted it on our members only page, on our Florida Kayak Bass Trail official page, on what that looks like. I'm going to add it to the Tourney X. I'm going to create the Central Florida Challenge Tourney X registration thing, and that's going to be go live tomorrow. So you guys will be able to start registering for the first event. Membership is $55. Reason it's $55 is $2 goes from each angler goes towards is a Tourney X fee, and then there's a strike fee along with that as well. So we're seeing from membership like $51.06 or something like that per angler. Sorry, if members use the codes, that will help in the future definitely utilize the club code so that those companies do see a return on their investment for what they're giving us. So we got a lot of cool sponsors involved. But yeah, what was I saying, Todd, before that got pulled up? Sorry, I hit a squirrel.
I was just going to throw that up there. You was talking about the first event. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was talking to Jeff the other day. I think there might be some lake names or that wasn't on there that he's having adjusted a little bit. So
yeah, I see a message from him now. Yeah. We'll hop on a phone call, but what we'll do is once I get off the phone call with Jeff, we will. I'll have to go in and create this tournament on Tourney X. I've been, it's been real busy with me on the back end here with work and inspections and whatnot from a military standpoint. So I haven't really had a lot of time to go in and build out the season yet. So I'm taking off on Monday so that I can actually go in and do all of the club stuff and build everything out on Tourney X. I've just been busy. But I will get the first one published, if not tomorrow, before this weekend at some point before Monday. So it'll be open for registration for the first event.
Yeah.
You also must be a member, club member. Club membership is also on Tourney X. You go through there. I posted a video a month ago, showing how to register for the club through Tourney X. If you have issues, reach out to me and I can forward you that memo and forward you that video and walk you through the process. But $55 for the annual membership, and then your entry for the first event is going to be $70, includes big bass.
Yeah. Also, with that being said, if you know that you're going to fish the event, or go ahead and get signed up. That helps us on the back end, the accounting, trying to figure out the payouts and all of that stuff. So I know it's not possible for everybody to sign up early, but if you can, that definitely helps us out to plan for the event itself.
Yeah, and when folks wait till Friday to do so, granted, that's kind of why the reason we wanted to keep a little bit of money last year, a little bit more than what we normally do. One, we're going to be doing really cool Angler of the Year trophy this year, and we're going to try to do something a little bit different with championship trophies that are going to be cost a little bit more money. However, now with us going to Tourney X, the fees and um, us trying to increase payouts, we're not keeping money back other than like kind of that little spare change that's left over per those entry fees. So we're gonna have to be real unique in what we're doing for those championship trophies this year, which we're talking with Dave Myers and trying to come up with a pretty unique, cost-effective way to, for trophies for the championship. But for the AOY, we got a pretty cool thing that we're doing for a trophy for that. So super excited. But if you have any questions, any advice, or any input, we're like I said, reach out to us. We're super excited about where the club is at, how much it's grown. I think the last time I looked, we're around like 45 members. The last time I checked, ish, I think um, which last year I think we're at 75. So a lot of people kind of join, around the first tournament or the first couple tournaments is when we see a lot of our folks that, sign up for their membership. So please get signed up. We look forward to having you out there. This county challenge concept is pretty cool. It's very unique. I don't know. The Kayak Adventure Series is where we kind of got this concept, or Jeff had got this concept from. We're going to try it out. It's the first time we've ever really done something to this magnitude. So again, super excited about it. Really, really curious to see how it all plays out. And feedback, right? Give us your honest opinion on it, and we'll be able to make adjustments for future events. So, Todd, that's all I got. I'll stop talking. I'm off my soapbox. It's at 47 minutes, so we're well within that hour, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'm just glad you're back on here. I don't have to talk all the time.
Well, I'm excited. Again, I'm super sorry. I'm super busy with work. I'm no longer, doing what I was doing in Florida. I'm actually back in my normal job, a lot busier now that I've progressed in my career, I would say. So it's a little different up here. But yeah, super excited about it. Getting to hang out with you guys again. Glad to see some new faces joining the club. That's what it's all about, right? Coming out there, having fun, and just really, getting out in nature, right? Leave it better than the way you found it, right? So if you're out there fishing in the events, you see some trash, you see people that need help, go out of your way, and help a neighbor, help a friend. Be respectful, right? We live in a world right now. There's a lot going on, right? Just be kind to one another, and expand or grow the sport of kayak bass fishing is kind of where I'll leave it at.
In a good way.
In a good way, absolutely. Be respectful. The minute just respect other anglers, right? Be very familiar with our sportsmanship rule, right, and how to handle those situations. Hopefully we haven't had any issues with that in our tenure here, but as you get new folks and things happen, right, just communicate. That's the biggest thing. Communicate with the anglers on the water. Be respectful. If you're going to if you're going to cut in front of somebody, reach out and say, hey, hey, Todd, is it all right if I get in front of you here? Or are you okay with it? Right. Just ask. If they say no, be respectful. All right, cool. I'll move on, or I'll go out. I'll go try something else. Right. But I can tell you right now, from all my time fishing with everyone in our club, I went up, hey, so and so, can I go over here and fish this point or fish this cove? No one's told me no.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be pretty, willing to be like, oh yeah, go over there. It's no big deal. But just be mindful, ask, be respectful. Don't go out and be hateful to anyone. If you do come across that, please reach out to us. Just say, hey, address this, and we will. With that, there's no place in the club for that. Okay. But I'll leave it at that, Todd. Again, you guys enjoy your Thursday. Good luck this weekend. Deadline to sign up is 11:59 Friday night. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out to myself, Todd, Jeff, and all those guys are going to be at the boat ramp. Todd, what you got?
When will the identifier be released?
Identifier will be released at 7 p.m. 7 p.m.
7 p.m. on Friday.
On Friday. Off the water at 6 p.m. You have to be off the water at 6 p.m.
And
for pre-fishing. The Friday up.
We'll post that on the Facebook page as well.
Yep, and I'll be utilizing the notification feature within Tourney X to anglers that are registered. At 11:15 or around tomorrow afternoon, I'll post. I'll regularly send out notifications through the the Tourney X notification system. So make sure make sure your notifications are set to allow them, right? That it notifies you that there's a message in Tourney X from a tournament director, so that you can see those messages. But I'll post everything. I'll be publishing everything through there and on our official Facebook page. Cool. I appreciate you guys for hanging on. Again, if you're watching this after the fact, make sure that if you are competing this Saturday, that you drop your name in the comment section below to receive credit for the mandatory meeting, captain's meeting for the StickMarsh Fellsmere event for this Saturday. Failure to do so will result in disqualification from the event. Make sure that you have a signed liability waiver on file, emailed to Florida Kayak Bass Trail at yahoo.com. I'll drop that in the comment section below. And yeah, we will see you guys Saturday morning at the Headwaters or StickMarsh boat ramp. If you have any questions for in-tournament on-site, reach out to Todd Quillen, Jeff Gallagher, or Chris Clutter. Those are going to be your on-site tournament directors for this event. I'm not sure where exactly they're going to be at, but we'll post it on our official page when I post the identifier there on Friday night.
I'll be at Headwaters boat ramp.
Okay. All right. But we will see you guys there. Tight lines. Be safe traveling, and best of luck this Saturday out there on Headwaters. But until next time, we'll see you later.
See y'all Saturday. Have a good one.